Hey guys, welcome to Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast, YouTube channel, all the fun stuff. Yeah, don't forget, like, subscribe. If you find this, well, you are going to find value in this. So I know that's going to happen. So put a comment as you're listening, as you are here. So many people listen and they never actually write a comment, they never do anything. And those things are really helpful, right? When you do that stuff. So today, I know you're the quiet listener that doesn't comment or doesn't do anything. Today, I want you to hit the like button, do the emoji face thing, or whatever the heck you want to do. Just let us know that you're here and ask a question. So today, I get the pleasure of interviewing Erin Marcus. Now, I was on her show just recently, and I was like, let me do my research and look. And I found out that we had like 100 friends in common on Facebook. And she lives in Chicago area and all of these little connections. And I realized that we live in a really small world. Like apparently her brother also was a customer of mine and is still a customer of the coffee shop that we sold. And just how small our world is and how interconnected we are. One of the things I like about her is she is committed to business owners' success and all of that kind of stuff. And and I think that by helping you succeed in business or us too, it just helps everybody. So, Erin Marcus, she's the founder and CEO of Conquer Your Business, an international company helping entrepreneurs and small business owners get out of reaction mode so they can be in charge of their business and in charge of their lives. You'll see why I had her on here. You know that I'm a person that likes control and I like to be in charge of things. That's what business owners love. But sometimes we don't know what we're in charge of. And sometimes we want to like say, give up those kind of things because sometimes having staff is not that fun and firing people is not that fun. So we'll probably talk about that. So anyway, here is Erin.
Brandon,
Hey,
thank you,
Erin.
thank you, thank you. Good to see you again, and thank you for having me here. I can't wait to see what we get to talk about next. We could just record
Yeah,
all of our conversations, right?
yeah, and here's the thing, just so you guys know, sometimes I prepare a little bit, but not all the time. It just is like free flowing, asking about successes, failures, and so you're gonna get some raw stuff from both of us because I don't know where it's gonna go. So, Aaron,
It's
how did
always
you
an
get into
interest.
this? I know
How did
we are connected in so many ways, but how did you get into helping businesses
um
and yeah, all of that?
It was well, put it this way, it was one of those situations I think Oprah talks about, like, the universal whisper in your ear, and if you don't listen, it'll give you a push, and if you still don't listen, it'll hit you over the head with a 2 by 4, right?
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of that because I actually was doing a version of what I'm doing now back in my corporate days. What I
Mm,
realized looking back is one of the reasons I had a very fulfilling, very successful corporate career at my last position was because I was allowed the freedom to be an entrepreneur within that company. There was no
I
roadmap for
see.
what I was doing. So we were making it up as we went along. But one of the things that I was doing in that company was helping our clients, helping the financial planners that we were working with
Mhm.
grow their businesses, teaching them how to grow their businesses. So I was actually coaching and consulting as part of my role in corporate and also mentoring the younger women in the business. And then when I left there and I bought a franchise, I took a half a step out of corporate to entrepreneurship. I
Yeah.
bought a franchise. Same thing happened. I got my business to the top 10 out of like 200 offices in about 18 months. And so the franchisor was like, here, come speak at our events. Here, come help us train new franchise owners. And then the places I would network is, well, we don't want to talk about your subject. Just teach us how to grow our business. And so there was all these things that were pointing me towards this is what I know how to do. This is what I
Yeah.
love doing. This is what other people want me to do. So, how about if we finally get rid of all the other pieces and just do the thing, right? Just do the
Yeah.
thing we're good at doing. But I mean, it sounds easy when I say that. That's a 22-year-long story if I do the math. So it's not an
Mhm.
overnight thing, but that's how I ended up finally just peeling away the layers to focus in on the one thing.
I think that's I mean, you said 22-year-old story, and a lot of times it's an we want the success or overnight success and think it'll be easy. I'm gonna just be like Aaron, and not realizing that Aaron had a whole story ahead of that, working for corporate before you stepped out of it.
Yep.
Um, and I feel like that's something for us. I was working at a corporate job before I did the coffee shop thing, and learned a lot there. And I exited in a good way. Same with
Yeah.
my wife, where we exited in 2008, 11 timeframe. And that was probably not the best time to start a business.
It wasn't that far
But
behind you. But
yeah,
one of the things you just said that is so key, and this I've learned this over and over and over again. You will be more successful running towards something than away from something.
yeah,
And I've seen that so many times where if you leave corporate, and here's the thing, it doesn't completely matter if it was your idea or their idea, but if you find yourself no longer in a job, in a corporate job, and now you're going to build your own widget, you're going to build your own
yeah,
universe. If you're excited about it, you stand a greater chance of success than if there's people, and I get it, they lost their job, they're very bitter, they hated their boss, so they
yep,
stormed out. If you are if that's your come from energy, you're going to have a lot harder time because the bad news is now the only boss to be mad at is you,
yeah.
right? Now because the problem didn't get solved, but now you're just mad at yourself, right? But yeah, you're much more successful running towards something than away from something.
So that brings me to a question I am curious about, and I don't know if we have an answer. This quiet resignation
Yeah,
or
that
whatever
is the
that's
joke to
called,
me. That's never not happened. Now it
right?
has a label, right? But to me, that's
Yeah.
never. I've left every job I was unhappy with.
Well, and then there's a lot of people who are like, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna go do this because it'll make me happier, starting a business,
No, it won't.
and all of that.
I promise you it
Um,
won't. Not in the
well,
beginning.
and I am worried about this because there's a lot of people who are doing this more and more, and I'm like, you want to get out of that to go to this? It is not that easy.
No, you
Uh,
know what? Here's the difference. I agree with you. It's not easy, but here's why I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna sound so old in a minute, so just prepare.
yeah,
We've been around long enough to know ebb and flow. The world
yeah,
is a pendulum. That's it.
yeah,
I've personally seen the dot-com bust
yep,
and then the big recession, and now the beginning of whatever the hell's going on now, right? Like, this is just what happens. They'll go get jobs. When the
yeah,
time comes, those same people will go get jobs. When the time comes, the companies will learn how to better hire people. Um, I think social media and the 24/7 need for content is giving prioritization and
yeah,
volume to something that's not unheard of. Like, yeah, my our grandparents' generation got a job and stuck with it.
yep,
And our parents, not as much, like, not as much. Even if they weren't entrepreneurs, the people who are, so my parents are 75 and 80, they didn't stick with every job they had. They had jobs for long periods of time. And then I was like shorter. I have no attention
yeah,
span. You could probably already tell. So my tenure was 3 years, 3 years until I found my right fit. And maybe for some people, they have the luxury or misfortune, whichever way it lands for you, to escape completely from corporate or from employment and try this over here.
yep,
No, but I mean, this is normal. It's not a
yeah,
great resignation. This is how this works.
yeah. Well, and then I think a bit about, again, people going into this and not realizing, hey, this does take commitment. This does take time. It's like
Yeah.
having a child, right? As I start my business, or in general, it's like having a baby. first few years kind of
Right, no sleep,
sucked.
not eating right,
Yeah.
exactly like having a baby.
And people are like, I just want to be an adult. And I'm like, most of our businesses that we go to have been passed on from a generation. They are now the bigger guys, like the big
Right.
grocery stores and all of that. And we can't minimize the small things that we've done or are doing, and sticking to it. I think
Oh,
about this as the coffee shop as I was building it. I just didn't have the skill set or equipment to do it, but it's still going, right?
well, and, to
Yeah.
me, I think the biggest thing I've learned, not the biggest, one of the biggest that has let me continue to be successful is not holding on to any of these things so tightly.
Hmm.
Because just like everything's an iteration. You learn, it's not a failure, it's taking that information and hopefully learning from it and hopefully making one better decision. And I think if you approach and do the work there that way, hey, okay, based on what I know now, based on what I knew then, this is the decision I made. Okay, how did it go? Well, not so well. So I got more data and now I'm making a different decision. And it's, as I think about, as I'm saying this, my strength, my MBA, my background is in marketing. That's
Yeah.
how we do marketing. You try something, you measure the results, you make a better decision, you try it again. And we're so, this society, one of the things I think we've got that are hurting people is you're either a success or a failure, this black and white, right? You're a success
Yep.
or you're a failure. Or we're comparing our regular day to everyone else's highlight reel. There's such a
Yep.
dichotomy of our comparisons instead of the truth is everything's an iteration, everything's a journey, everything's a
Yeah.
process.
And it's that 1% adjustments. And what we talk about with the still method
Mhm.
is making 1% adjustments over time.
Yeah,
But if you don't know your metrics,
can't
you
do it.
can't make the right adjustments. When
And
it comes to marketing or any of that, knowing the data, knowing the numbers, and saying, "Well, that sucked,
right,
but
well,
I'm
like,
gonna try a different thing."
yeah, I just had this conversation with someone because I was talking about we're gonna be split testing an ad for the next event that we have
Yeah,
coming up, blah, 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 and they're like, "Well, what's split testing?" I'm like, "Split testing is when you try 2 things at the same time and see what works better." And you
yeah,
can only sell for 1 or 2 variables at a time. So if you throw every you people, in an entrepreneur world, and I'm sure you see this with finances too. They try something once, and if it doesn't work, they scrap the whole plan and then try something completely different.
yep,
That will make you nuts because you never get the momentum. You never get the opportunity for iteration because you're always starting at ground zero.
yeah. Well, and again, I think sometimes not realizing or thinking it's just gonna be easy. I've been doing this business for 4 years. When we first started this business, we had and our business name was Grandma's Wealth Wisdom because I didn't have a good. I felt like, oh well, who am I to talk about this? And so we used Grandma, and then we reoriented and changed, uh, and we changed our name from Grandma's Wealth Wisdom to Wealth Wisdom Financial. Confusing for probably a lot of people, confusing for us. My email still says Grandma's Wealth Wisdom, which is fine, but it's something I learned and I pivoted towards that. And now I'm seeing people jump on our calendar more regularly, but we've been doing podcasting for before podcasting was popular, I think. Now everybody's a podcaster.
Yeah.
Um, right. And I'm think, hmm, well, and people are coming to us. I had a guy literally, we did a episode on budgeting and mental health,
Mm,
and what I found was a lot of people talk about budgeting, a lot of people talk about mental health. There's nobody that's combining the two, except for in UK,
oh,
right?
interesting.
And this is crazy interesting where SEO and all this stuff and knowing marketing. So this guy, literally, we released the episode on I think less than a week ago. This guy literally typed in Google. budgeting and mental health, and he found us, and we had a conversation already. And I'm like, "Well, that's interesting."
And yeah, and
Oh,
none of it nothing gets to work if you don't keep doing it.
yeah,
I say the joke I say is it's all like 80s ab machines. They all worked. You just needed to keep using them.
yeah, yeah,
And the commitment to it and the commitment to the belief that it's gonna work even when in the face of no evidence whatsoever. And there's this fine line, like, there's this tightrope walk in
mhm,
entrepreneur world that you have to know the difference between don't give up yet on one side, but
yeah,
don't throw good money after bad.
yeah,
And there's this tightrope of patience for the vision, like patience for the ultimate vision, but urgency in your daily actions. It's hard to hold the I think that's one of the reasons entrepreneurship is so hard, that there's a lot of examples of those where you're holding 2 things that kinda are on the opposite ends of the spectrum of each other, and how do
right.
you just stay between the bumpers to, keep wiggling forward?
And that's kind of the thing, why I don't like Dave Ramsey and those kind of things is because you could say, "Oh, it's this way and no other way," right?
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's
"Uh,
so not true. Right?
no, it's actually
That's this
both
way for
things."
him, right?
Yeah, it's like one way and the other, and you have to, like, think like, schizophrenic sometimes, uh, and I'm like, "Wow, I feel this way, but I want this, but I want this," and you have to
Well,
balance. That's why
and
a
the
team is so important.
That's right, and not just a team, but a team that complements you, and the other problem
Mhm.
I have with the "just do this one thing" marketing programs out there is if you don't pull off their one thing, you feel like a failure,
Yeah,
and the truth of the matter is their one thing might be the exact opposite of your natural strengths, and
yep,
so instead of going with the flow of your natural strengths, you're banging your head against the wall trying to get good at something, your brain just doesn't do well. And so
yeah.
instead of making it easy, you're making it harder. And then you feel like a failure because person A over there pulled it off, but you can't pull it off. Like, there's a reason I'm not allowed to touch the calendar. I'm not good at it. I don't touch the calendar. When I put things on the calendar, things go horribly awry. And it sounds stupid sometimes that here I am text messaging assistant just to do something on my calendar, but we've all learned I don't pay attention long enough to do it the right way.
Oh, I think we're, like, on the same boat right there.
So put someone who's good at it in charge of it,
Yeah,
and that's just one example.
yep.
And
Oh,
so I'm a big fan of like my commitment this year. I refuse to do the bang your head against the wall version of doing business. I refuse to do things I hate doing. And I refuse to feel bad about any of it.
so are you saying that business owners should not go on TikTok and do dance videos
I should not
or
go on TikTok and do dance videos. The other business owners, have at it.
yeah,
I should
maybe,
not.
maybe if you're
Right.
good. I'm not doing that.
It's not for
Uh,
me. TikTok for me, the algorithm knows baby goats, farm animals,
yeah,
wildlife photography. The algorithm knows, right? I use TikTok as an escape. You will not see me soon, though my marketing person's like, "Well, I can just take these reels and put it onto." I'm not ready for that. It's not my world at this point.
and what you just said is my marketing person is taking what you've already done, putting it
And
into that because she knows how that works.
well, she knows I'm not gonna do it, is what she
Yeah.
knows.
That's something I've learned in having a business, and, we have a staff of 4 now, and one of my, staff, they were saying, "We're creating apple pie, stop putting paprika in it."
And
That's what I do with the calendar myself.
right, exactly. Well, and here's one thing though. I want to caution everybody because I'm not saying that there's not certain things you need to get over yourself and do. There's certain, one of the things I see a lot of is an extensive amount of effort by business owners to grow a business without ever talking to other human beings or having to ask for a sale. So they try
Right,
to
yeah,
put all these right, because God forbid we talk to somebody. So they put all of these funnels and processes in place because they don't want to have to say, "Hey, "This is what I do for a living. Would you like me to help you with that? That would be great." Like, they're scared to
Yeah.
just make that offer. "Hey, can I help you with that?" It's kinda like my thing. And so there are certain basic skills, especially in the beginning, if you're bootstrapping it and it's just you and maybe you and one other person. Yeah, there's certain skills that you kind of have to learn. But my
Yeah.
feeling is if you're going to be brave enough to be an entrepreneur, you can be brave enough to learn those. But it also, so again, kind of like we were saying, there's this fine line between, yeah, there's certain things that you're going to have to do. And then on the other side, if you suck at them and you hate them, there's probably a different way we can look at it.
Well, and again, for me, as there's paperwork and things like that that we have to do. Luckily, I have a team. It was two of us, and we figured out what the bottlenecks were, right?
Yeah. I'm the bottom
And yeah,
personally.
and I know in some of those regards, okay, well then what do we do? And as you grow in revenue, because you gotta make money, and you have to steward that, be the CEO and CFO of your business, but then you hire those things out. So like paperwork
Right.
now, I love that I don't have to do that, you
Right.
know?
And it's
Um,
kind of it elevates, right, the whole thing, and I think one of the things you said, though, that's really key is be the CEO of your business. I watch a lot of people, and I'll be the first one to tell you, women have this problem more than men, not that men don't have the problem, but women are more likely to have the problem. "I'm just doing my thing here. I'm just gonna try this little thing here," and they're very, diminishing with their language around their business, and if you hear yourself speak like that, you're not gonna treat your business like a business,
yeah.
and you can be woo woo and call it stepping into your power, stepping into your voice, or you can be pragmatic and call it taking responsibility. However you feels natural to you. Um, Kind of like where we started, you'll be more successful running towards something than away from it. Same thing.
Mhm.
Your business will be more successful if you consider it a business and treat it like a business and talk about it like a business than if you talk about it like it's this side thing that you, even
Yeah.
if it is a side hustle, but it's kind of over there and you only feed it occasionally and sometimes you take it out for a walk. Like,
That then it's a hobby. I've told some people, I'm like, if this is a hobby, then treat it like a hobby.
right.
If this is a business, then treat it like a business.
And
Uh,
you're not
and that's
wrong for
okay on
having a
both.
hobby. Right, it's
Yeah.
100% like, the one thing I say this all the time, like, we can come up with a business strategy, we can do marketing, we could teach you sales, we can teach you success mindset to get past your blocks. The one thing I absolutely cannot do for you is tell you what you want.
Yeah.
It's entirely up to you, and there's nothing wrong with any of the decisions. My thing is, make a decision. Don't have whatever you have because you let someone else decide it for you or because you feel like you all you get is what's left over. Just
Yeah.
decide what you want and then go
So have
from
you
there.
found that a lot of people, as they go into business, that they don't know what they're running towards? They haven't really took the time to think about, what kind of business they want, or are they just kind of doing
100%.
it because everybody else is?
Yeah, well, there's 2 sides to that. The first thing I will tell you is I'm so, so grateful and thankful I didn't know what I didn't know, because I probably
Mhm.
never would have left corporate if I knew what I was in for, right? So on one side, I'm
Amen.
very thankful I didn't know what I didn't know. But the first question I ask people in a sales conversation, in an onboarding conversation is, "What do you want?" And most people cannot answer the question. Most people will go, "Well, I can tell you what I don't want." Or if they will tell me what they want, they'll tell me it's like the first answer is not the real answer. They'll tell me what they're supposed to think they're allowed to possibly want.
Mhm.
They won't tell, so it takes a minute. And part of it's like we don't talk about that to adults. We talk about
Yeah.
that to kids, but we don't, "What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? What do you want to be when you grow up?" But we don't talk about that to adults. What do you want? And I think most adults don't realize that they have permission to just do whatever, create whatever they want.
I think
Because
you're
they're
about to go into, is it Spice Girls?
this
Is
is
that right?
what do you tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're going yeah. I think that's the thing. We need a little Spice Girls in us.
Hey, I
Uh,
have no problem with that.
just to think about it and, like, reflect, and I bet you, your answer when you ask people, if you do more on the marketing end, most people will say, "I want leads."
Yeah,
They say, "Oh, I want leads."
I want more
And you're
clients.
like,
I want more
"I want
clients.
more clients." Okay, why? Uh, like you could have a lot of clients, but not the right clients, or yeah. So then, where do you go from there? They say, "Oh, I want leads." Well, what do you ask them next?
What do I ask them that? So when if they want more business, if they want a bigger business, I will usually, what I find is when I ask follow-up questions, there's a lot of incongruities. There's a
Hmm.
lot of incongruities between what they like, put your little safety bubble on, right?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
a little truth bomb. There's a lot of inconsistencies between what they say that they want and what they're actually willing to do.
yeah. Yep.
So, one of the things I've said for a long time, the hardest conversation you'll ever have is an honest conversation with yourself. And they want it to be easy. What they really want is to not have to do the work. What they really want is the magic button that Instagram will have you believe exists. What they want is the fairy tale, but they don't want to be Cinderella for all the years it takes to get to the fairy tale. And part of that's not their fault, truthfully. Part of it's not their fault, especially younger generations, because they have no exposure to anything else. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have the exposure to hard work because they live on social media where it's everybody's highlight reel. Their parents haven't really shown them the behind the scenes of how hard things are because they've taken care of everything for them. So part of it's not their fault.
yeah,
And that's the scary part. So part of it's just the way our brain works, right? But that's what sets the difference, right? What are you willing to do to get it? How bad do you want it? And that's one of the things I like, one of the things I know. Well, first of all, it's not hard for me with the people I talk to, because I don't know if you've picked up on this or not, but like people who don't want to work, they never call me. People who
yeah,
don't want to take responsibility, don't want to take action, they're not going to resonate. I'm going to either scare them or offend them or whatever. So they don't call me. So that's fine. The easy way, like not in my marketing. So that part's easy. But sometimes they just don't know how. And I
yeah,
think it has to, so when I ask my follow-up questions, I think the absolute key to it is I have no judgment around why they don't have it yet.
yeah,
Because like I said, you can blame a millennial for not knowing these things, but why would they know this? There's all
yeah,
sorts of things I don't know because I have no way of knowing this, right?
yeah,
Like it's no judgment. And the beauty of it is you get to make a decision every single day. You get to just like change how you do. You want to do something different? Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and that's every day.
yeah.
And if you do just one decision better, one decision better, what is it like some crazy 35,000 decisions a day, like whatever the no wonder we're all exhausted. Like one decision better. Can we do one decision better?
Right?
That's all you need. And I think the reason people don't know what they want and then they think it's too hard to get and they're so confused is our brains, the way our human brains work is very all or nothing. It's either easy or it's hard. We either failed or we succeeded. So our brain kind of fogs out of fear.
Yeah,
And my job with my clients is to show them it doesn't have to be that way. Is to help them create the step by step by step by step, right? It's a spiral staircase, so you can only see 2 steps. You don't even worry about the rest.
yep. I think that's as I've thought about this with the financial analysis and dealing with this with clients, both business owners and non. It's the same questions I have, same issues I have, and they come into the end of life saying, "Oh, wait, this isn't where I hoped I was going to be." I'm like, "Well, you didn't make a plan and strategy. You didn't take the steps when you were 20 to start moving into when you're 60."
Right.
Uh, and that reverse engineering thing is really important. And I even told this to a older guy who's 76. I said, I try and think about myself when I'm your age and what do I want my life to look like? What kind of grandparent do I want to be? And all of that business, all that stuff. And we don't think about that and then walk backwards, at least in our minds,
Right.
to figure that out. And then that's from a financial standpoint,
The
and then we
way
wonder why we're screwed.
well, and the way that I refer to that, you gotta do the work before you go to work. It's
Mhm.
the planning, the assessing, it's the hard part. This is not fun. I have my whole afternoon today on the calendar is figuring some of this out for my own business because I have plans for the business that I thought were gonna take a year to a year and a half to put in place, and the new goal is to make that happen in less than 6 months. All right, that's gonna take some rearranging
Yeah.
and some
Right.
like, that's gonna take some be brave moments. That's gonna take some and it's not that it's not possible, but now I have to go to work. I have to do
Yep.
the work before I go to work. Random acts of marketing don't work. Random acts of business don't work. Random acts of financial responsibility don't work. It's not fun. It's not shiny. It's certainly not exciting. I'll probably end up in sweatpants and a t-shirt and comfy to do it. But you have to sit down with all your pads of paper. I'm a big fan of note cards. I've got piles of
Yeah.
them and write it all out and move all the pieces. And okay, if this happens and this happens, and all the brainstorming and it's hard thinking work. It's exhausting.
Oh,
But
so you do thinking time,
I
the
do
road less
thinking
stupid, I think, right?
I do, I don't know,
Mm.
I do, I've more and more and more. My motto, and it shifted a month or 2 ago, my one of my themes for the year, and I had already had team, but one of my themes for the year was CEO, not solopreneur,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
a couple of months ago, it shifted CEO, not manager, because 'cause I'd built the team, but I was still doing too much.
Yeah.
And I need to be more in my role. And so what was happening for me in full transparency, so if you find yourself in these spots, I was trying to do my thinking and vision casting and strategy as part of my morning routine at 6 o'clock in the morning or on a Saturday morning before I went outside, whatever, instead of making it part of my business.
Yeah.
And so now so now it's I look at my calendar every week. Where's my CEO time?
Yeah.
Where am I making the plans? Where am I assessing what's going on? Where am I looking at the data? Where am I casting the vision? Where am I leading the team? Where am I doing that's it's not glamorous stuff, I will tell you.
It
That's not
it takes time, like, that's for us on Saturday, we have that kinda meeting,
Yep.
planned, and
Yeah.
it's regular occurrences. We do at least every quarter,
Mhm.
where we do what we call the still method, at least, one monthly, and then quarterly is a bigger time.
Yeah.
And if you don't have, like, I have me and my business partner, but you have to do it yourself and realize that time seems wasted, but it's not. It
No,
feels like you're not making progress. But
I have money Mondays. So every Monday we do all the money. Where is the bills? Where is the income?
yeah,
Where is everything? And then I have a CFO review once a month. You do a monthly money audit. Where are the money leaks? And where are we wasting money? Where are we overpaying? Where are we ending up with subscriptions we don't even know how we got? Right? Like,
right. And that's the healthy habits. That's why I love our YNAB course and things like that. It's like building the habits, and you don't just become physically fit overnight. You do the habits to get
yeah.
there. So, what
And
else?
that's the
Anything
other
else we want
thing.
to?
Yeah, one thing about all of this to wrap this part up in the bow. You don't do this once you have the big business. You do this to get the big business.
Yeah, amen. That's
You
for
don't
sure.
wait, you
Yeah,
don't do this in or once I have the money, I'll pay more attention to it. No, the only way you're gonna get the money is by paying attention to it. I tell my clients all the time, I show them all the different things that I track in my business and what they need to be tracking in their business. And yes, I was tracking all those things with my very fancy spreadsheets when the entry said 0.
so wait, you're saying you don't wait until you have a lot of money to finally look at the money and hire a
Mhm,
CFO?
mhm.
You
And
you
sometimes
actually
it was me.
yeah,
Sometimes it was me, and sometimes there was a tax accountant involved in it, and most
yeah,
of the time it was me. And then you get to the point where, like, you can afford to have someone at this level and then this level and then right? You move up, but you can't wait. You can't wait to look at your finances until once you have money. You can't wait to look at your marketing until once you have business. You can't wait to look at running your business like a business until you have clients. The only way to get the business is to start out by treating it like a business.
yeah. I think again there's a lot of hobbyists out there, or they want that. Oh, I'm just gonna not work and it's gonna be awesome. And I'm like, that it's actually when it gets harder. If you just left your job because you want financial freedom and freedom to do whatever, like, you just traded 40 hours for 80 hours, maybe. Um,
Yeah,
at
and
least
again, I have
initially.
empathy. I have so much empathy for that situation because they're being so influenced by inaccurate information. And so that, it's this again with the fine line between being lied to and personal responsibility. But here's the other
Mhm.
thing. They will fix it when it's time. They will fix it. They will go get a job. They just will. There's not really another option. They'll go get a job. They'll figure it out because there is no other option.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Yep.
they'll have to eat and pay rent, and they'll go figure it out. We all have.
Yep. Yep. I just wanna, I wanna look back on my life and say, "Man, I figured it out, and I have this thing," but that means you have to do the work, right?
You have to do the work.
Um,
There's no way around
that's
there's just no way around it.
Yeah. I think about this from a somebody who is unhealthy, like financially, mentally. They figure it out by going to McDonald's because it's cheap food. And then we wonder, oh, we got it. But then we died early because of,
Right.
you know, bad
Yeah,
habits. And I'm
keep
like, well, we totally figured it out. But I want a life that's, man, I put everything on the table. I did everything today to make it a success. Will it work perfect? Absolutely not. Will things outside of my control happen? Oh yeah, but I know I did the best I could. So I want to show your website
Oh,
here.
sure.
Let's see here. So this is your website, Conquer Your Business. So I'm going to put this here in the link here too for you guys,
Awesome. Thank you.
um, because I want you to go there. While I'm doing that, I'm going to do my little. I forget to do this all the
Oh,
time.
yeah. Go like and
Um,
subscribe.
Go like, subscribe, do all the things that you're supposed to do, guys. Uh, Share it with a friend that needs this. I think a lot of business owners, or I don't know, everybody needs this anyway. Conqueryourbusiness.com, or conquer your, I don't know, bad eating habits or whatever we're going to talk
It's really
about. So yeah, conquer your business. She says, is your business running you, or are you running your business? I tell you, that's why I transitioned out of the coffee
Yeah,
shop business. Just because I was
running
like,
it.
oh wait, this business is gonna kill me. Literally, I'm like, I gotta make a change. Literally, I was in the hospital for high anxiety and blood pressure. So yeah, the business was running me. So if you guys want to know how to be in charge, take action, and get results, of course you want to click here. But tell us more about the site. What's
So
there?
there yeah, so here's the thing, my favorite part about it is the resources because there's so much information there. So if you go to the resources page, we have a blog, we have a podcast, we have over 100 episodes that are interviews with all sorts of people on their entrepreneurial journey. And then if you go to the freebies session, we have a bunch of trainings on my favorite is this Conquer Your Morning. Going back to what we
Mm,
were talking about with all or nothing, I avoided doing a successful morning routine because I was being inundated with people telling me, well, this is how it works. You have to say this to yourself
yeah.
the second you wake up, but don't open your eyes. Like there was all this stuff that I was being told to do. And I'm like, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So I was doing nothing until I found a way to make it work for me. And now my morning routine happens during the commercials at 6 o'clock in the morning to NCIS Los Angeles. And that works for me. I start my day with Senseless Violence and LL Cool J, right? So it's not about being perfect. It's about doing what works for you. So there's
Yep.
like what, 3 or 4 programs in there to get you started, whether you want
Yep.
to set yourself up for a successful day, conquering your thoughts or all these turbulent times. What's really interesting, I wrote the Conquer Your Thoughts when we got locked down because of COVID, when we
Mm,
first got locked down because of COVID, because one of the things I realized was it's not the situation that dictates the outcome, it's the person. Because one of the things
yep.
we've learned in the last couple of years is something will always happen.
Yep.
So what can you do to help stay on top of your mindset to keep moving forward? And we're always
That's
doing it
the
again.
victim mindset. Most people are playing the victim.
It's the
And also,
victim, it's more than that. I think people are subconscious, not to go like crazy, 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 you know what? But your brain has one job. Your brain's job is to keep you alive. And in order to keep you alive, it doesn't want to make you rich or happy or skinny or beautiful, whatever. It just wants to keep you alive. And part of its job to keep you alive is to identify threats.
Hmm.
That way it knows to avoid them. And to your brain, anything you haven't already survived is a threat. And it's very black and white. So it's going to find ways to stop you from doing the things, even though you consciously want to do them. You want to get out there and speak on stage. You want to get out there and do lives on social media. You want to get out there and network and ask for the sale. And consciously, you do want to do all those things. But subconsciously, your brain is going, oh my God, we're all going to die. And so it
Yep.
stops you. And I just go back to the idea that I can disagree with a lot of things that people do, but I have all the empathy in the world because I understand what we're up against from a neuroscience standpoint, from a sociology
Yeah.
standpoint. But it's how do you break through? If you really, really want something else, you're gonna have to do something else.
I think that's again, some of it is like for me, speaking, doing videos like this for a while. I was like, I'm not that good at that stuff.
We all
Uh,
sucked at everything at one point.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, actually, like when I started doing some interviews and podcasts on myself, I was like, man, I feel really good about this. I'm really good.
I
I'm
did it.
awesome at this. Um, and I was like, man, why was I saying that for years? That probably hindered my growth.
Yep.
But it was because something was being said to myself saying, "Well, your mom said this about you, and this
Right.
said this about you."
This is for
Um,
other people. Other people do this. This is not for me. Other people do
yeah,
this.
but
Yep.
now I'm, whatever. It's good. So, guys, go to here if you want to conquer your business. There's things that there are people here to help you.
Yes.
So go get these freebies. Of course, conquer your income. That's my specialty.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, this is not your side of conquer your income. This is about making the money. Your
oh
side is
yeah.
about right here.
Oh,
It's
no. I was just saying definitely think and some people are like, yeah, I'm good at making money." I'm like, "Well, keep money." It's both. It's a
it's
both and.
completely right.
Um,
Those are 2 different things.
yeah. So, but a lot of people are passive when it comes to the sell, when they're going to sell or as I always say it wrong. I even had an assistant who was a person in our marketing side. It's like we do products, we sell products, and he's like, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like. Are you selling? I'm like, absolutely, we're selling. And if I don't sell something, you don't have a job,
Right.
is what I told him. I was like,
And if you don't
uh,
sell something, the person who is your client doesn't get their solution.
yeah. So in a sense, we are all in sales,
Yes.
every one of us, even if you're an administrative side, because if you don't make the sell, you don't have a job. So anyway, that's my thing. Anything you want to leave people with today?
Anything I wanna leave people with, why don't we say this? Because we talked about it briefly, we don't have to go down the whole rabbit hole of this. You and I were chatting. It's a little weird right now, the economy's a little weird right now. Things that were happening easily at the first half of the year for business owners are not happening as easily now, and what I really want people to know, this too shall pass, this is temporary, but it's also a huge opportunity
Yep.
because the questions you have to ask yourself as a business owner hasn't changed. What do you offer? Who do you
Yep.
help? How do you help them? What is the outcome that they get? How do you find those people? How do you talk to those people? Those questions never change. And it's not that there's less money. There's more money now than there's ever been before. When they run out, they print more. It's kind of weird. So
Yeah.
it's not that there's not money. It's just moving around right now.
Yep.
That's what recession it's just moving around right now. And if you wanna be a person on the receiving end of this readjustment, you just kinda like what we were talking about, it's time to double down on doing the work before you go to work.
Yep.
Because right now, the things that were easy before are now taking attention. So all
Yep.
the things that we've been talking about are more important now than they are during times of looser, easier finances.
Yeah. Well, and again, I might say like it's definitely interesting time where we are seeing and what I actually love it because in these times is where you're going to see the real
Mhm.
ness and the fakers and the makers, I guess you could say,
Right,
or
your
something like that.
competition is going away.
Yeah.
Your
And
competition is
I'll,
going away.
there, if you look at 2008 and those kind of things, there's a lot of people that became millionaires and billionaires during it.
Mhm.
There's also a lot of people that lost it,
Yeah.
right? For me, I want to be on the one end, not the
Right.
other. And if you feel like you've missed it, right? Oh, I'm on the back end of it, whatever. Well, guess what?
Change it.
It's going to happen again
Right,
at
change
some
it.
point.
Make a different decision. Can
Yep.
change any day. It just
Yeah.
takes some effort.
So So keep moving forward. Keep making those baby
Absolutely.
steps. Get around people that can help you. That's why you want to go to Erin's website, conqueryourbusiness.com. Get those freebies,
Yes,
and then tell her that you heard about it from me. Uh,
absolutely.
and love to hear how you are growing and thriving in your business. So, uh,
Awesome.
awesome. Well, thanks, Erin, for being here. And this has been a lot of fun. And you guys, it's up to you to break through to a smart, stable financial future. We can help you. We want to be there for you, but it's actually not our job. It's yours.
Which
So,
is kind of
uh,
exciting.
yeah, isn't it?
It's
It's so
excite
much
right?
fun.
To know that you have the power to go change your life at any moment. How exciting
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah. So go do it, guys. And we'll see
Awesome.
you next time.